Hello everybody, River here on Flow with River, day 5, and today is May 9th. Happy Mother's Day everyone. Happy birthday to my oldest nephew, London, shout out. I would like for you to take a beautiful look at this beautiful lilac right here. It's just starting to bust out with delightful flowers and fragrance. And being as how it's Mother's Day today, I thought I would take a walk about and talk about moms. So, loving to give a shout out to my mom, Jan, mommy, love you, Mom. So, a little background on my life. I grew up and both my parents were teachers, which was amazing because my parents were home all the time in the summer when my brother and I were off of school, and we just had so much fun. You grow up thinking that most people in the world live like you do. At least I did, not realizing that there's a whole world out there of people having different experiences, growing up with different family structures, family styles, ways of being. A lot of, single mamas out there working to support kids. A lot of moms who've maybe made hard decisions, wrong decisions, and maybe don't have their kids anymore. A lot of mamas who've can't have kids and who are, have had to try like the Dickens to adopt. I have all of these situations in my family unit and my friend unit. And so as a kid growing up, my mom, just the best. My parents always had that philosophy of, well, if you guys are going to play with your friends, why don't you come over here? And it was awesome. So my mom was always the one out there that was fun and full of life and bringing us food and fixing our owies, and I feel very fortunate. My mom and I hit a rough spot at one point during our life where we were separated, and probably touch base on some of those issues in my own world at some point. But it was a time where I was always a person who wanted to do great, wanted to be perfect, wanted to do the best. I always wanted, to seek my parents' approval was a very important thing. And so, came a point where we had a gap of connecting. And it allowed me freedom to really be and explore myself and do what I wanted with what I thought was without judgment. And so it was cool. I kind of really got to discover who I am. And there's a train and it's really loud. I think I'm gonna go back this way. So my own personal belief is that we as children choose who we're going to be born to, where we're going to be born, what life circumstances we're being born into. Again, my own personal belief. And as parents, they, for the most part, mean the best. I believe for the most part that every parent on the planet does the best that they can possibly do in their circumstances. So if you had a dad who left or a mom who abandoned you, perhaps they just felt like, maybe you were better off without them and in a better situation, a different situation. And so that's a little piece. Again, my mom, after we came back together from our separation, our lives were really changed. I shifted, she shifted. I'm a lot more open, and she is a lot more open. I feel like things I would have been scared to be myself around are now accepted beautifully, and things that we disagree upon, we can accept. You know, we don't all have to be the same. That's the great thing about life, is that we are here to experience and create our own joy. Parents want the best for us, and they think what the best is what's worked for them. You know, what has brought them success and them happiness. And while that's wonderful and great sentiment, you know, sometimes we bounce off of that. So a shout out to all the moms in the world giving. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Okay, so I grew up, you know, thinking that I was always going to have kids. I just thought that that's what women did. I didn't really know anybody who didn't have kids as a woman, and came to a place where I just realized, like, I don't want kids. Like, and it was weird. I didn't really know anybody else who was at this point and place. And where was I going with that? Bear with me for 1 minute while my brain catches up. Okay, well, it's not catching up, but I will say that I never had my own birth children. I've had a lot of dogs that I love like my babies, and I love hanging out with my nephews and things like that, but still, I've never really hung out with a lot of kids. My best friend's 2 daughters are probably the closest I've ever came to being a mom. Back in my youth, I was around, got to braid their hair and be the cool aunt showing up in the cool camper, and they loved Mr. Bear and playing in my RV and things like that. Love them to death. Shout out Sierra, Acadia. They're now like 21 and 18. Crazy, makes you feel old. But this is the first time in my life where I'm actually in the role of being a parent. With my, I know in the previous one, I called her my daughter-in-law. I meant stepdaughter, even though I'm not technically married to Nate. I love her like my own already, and she's amazing. And I gotta say, just in this last, couple years, I have experienced so much joy and so much fear. Like, there's times where she gets hurt and I'm just like, oh my God, and like, you gotta keep your wits about you. You gotta be strong. They can't see your fears, and you do the best you can in circumstances. Try to, spread the most joy and love. Try to support them the most you can. So I just want to say thank you to my partner and to Ellie for allowing me to be part of your lives. I love it so much. So the other thing I was thinking about today was that my grandma. So I showed you that, hey guys, I'm making a vlog. You're now on my vlog. So I was walking past Lilacs. When I grew up, my mom's mom and dad, they lived in this house that me and my brother would go to, and it was where my mom grew up, and it had just this row of lilac trees that was amazing in the spring. The colors, the smells. I'm legally blind, and I danced in front of the speakers all the time when I was younger, so my hearing is not the greatest, but my sense of smell is like a dog. And so when I smell lilacs, instantly I think of Grandma Choo Choo. Now, I nicknamed my grandparents when I was younger because I couldn't pronounce their names or remember them probably. But my grandpa worked on the railroad, so it was Grandma and Grandpa Choo Choo. And then my dad's grandparents were Grandma and Grandpa Nicky, because they had a little dog named Nicky. And sorry if I start panting. I'm going up the hill and I'm relatively out of shape. So I smell the lilacs, I think of Grandma Choo Choo. And my mom, we used to go riding when we were younger and when I was younger. And the poplar smells, when they start dropping those little sticky things all over the ground, oh, it's like a smell to die for. I wish they would bottle it and turn it into some sort of a perfume or incense. And the Russian willows, oh, when they get that sweet, sweet smell in the air, just both of those instantly take me back to my mom. So a little shout out to paying attention to things that take you back and remind you. You know, life is a journey, but it's also relatively short. I know that we come up against bumps, things we think are impassable, things we think are unforgivable, you know, but, you know, eventually we're all going to be in the ground, you know, like we're all going to die. It's part of life. And it's nothing to be afraid of by any means, but it is something to recognize as a pay attention, you know. The people that sometimes do us wrong maybe just don't know what to say, you know. Maybe they've never dealt with this before. You always hear generations saying, back in my day, we never blah, blah, blah. But, you know, their parents said the exact same thing and their parents said the exact same thing. So, you know. Oh, hello, little dog. So, anyway, just wanted to say life is short, hey? And forgive those, love those. Oh, I remember why I was going to talk about not wanting kids. So I've always been fascinated being a scientist and knowing a lot about the body of childbirth. It's fascinating to me. That was, if I could just have a baby and not be attached to the baby, which I knew I would be because I'm an emotional Cancer Leo cusper. But I would have done it just to experience it, because it blows my mind that a thing can grow inside of a mom and boop, there you are. Like, fascinating. So I became a doula when I lived in Hawaii, and a doula is somebody who has, you know, relative skills of a midwife, just not all the technical things like being able to stitch people up and stuff like that. But I became a doula so that I could experience firsthand, as close as I could get, without becoming a midwife, which was like 5 years of school. I didn't really want it that bad. So I became a doula. I helped to birth. The first baby I experienced was a couple of sweet friends. Well, they weren't friends of mine at the time. They were neighbors to a friend of mine. And they had a home birth with a tub. And I got to witness. It was amazing, amazing. Blew my mind. like holy crap, women are so strong and powerful. And as soon as the baby comes out, the pain is forgotten, because there's so much joy. Like, that's how much love there is. And I only helped deliver 2 babies, and that was good. I feel good about that. The second, though, was my youngest nephew, Lincoln. And so it was my sister-in-law and my brother, and they had a home birth. And they had a tub, and it was just the midwife, and I think she was training somebody, a new midwife, and it was me. And it was amazing. Now, my sister-in-law is a sweet little petite thing, and Link, man, it took her, I swear, a half hour to get his shoulders out, and it was like phenomenal. And so, like, she's told me before that me playing the didgeridoo on her belly really was helpful. It helped calm and soothe, and doing massage and things like that. But it was just powerful to witness. I am so thankful. Thank you guys for including me in that experience that I will never forget. And even that experience, even though it was not me birthing Lincoln, I always felt like there was this extra little bit of closeness because I wasn't there when London was born, and so I don't know, could be just imaginary, but that's that. Maybe it's just because I got to see him so small, like so small, like holy moly. So, yeah, I just want to thank my mom. I want to thank all of the mother-in-laws I've had, all of my partners' moms that I've had and known along the way for being such amazing humans and raising such beautiful men. I want to thank all of my friends who are mamas for being such great mamas. I just want to give shouts out and props to all of you, and for you as kids, as we all are, remember that as much as life is a journey for us, it is going to end, and majority of the time your mom's going to die before you. And so sometimes it's good to wrap up the ego and just put out that olive branch, perhaps, and forgive and forget. We don't have to be on the same page. We don't have to agree to the same things. We don't have to be into the same things. But we can still have love and a connection. So, all right. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.